Hi, this is Dan Silvestri
And Tom Pizzato.
from SpyMovieNavigator.com, and we're 1 year old now. Well, we're a little older, but our website and podcasts and video shows, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies, is a year old. So join us as we celebrate, and we thank you for getting us here. We'll hear from a couple of our listeners and colleagues as well.
Good morning, Mr. Silvestri and Mr. Pizzato. The man you are listening to is John Cork, who has reliably learned from sources that Spy Movie Navigator and the podcast Cracking the Code of Spy Movies is celebrating its 1 year anniversary. Your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to continue to entertain and illuminate on the subject of the spy genre. As always, should either of you or any member of your SMN team be caught mispronouncing names or incorrectly citing film titles, the secretary will disavow knowledge of your errors. This audio file will unfortunately not self-destruct in 5 seconds. Happy anniversary.
All right, John Cork.
Thank you, John.
You got to know who John Cork is. He's an amazing guy. He's a very cool guy, and he's co-authored 3 James Bond books, including the James Bond Encyclopedia and a couple of others, James Bond, The Legacy, and Bond Girls Are Forever. He did that one with actually Miriam Dabo. Combined, these books have sold over 300,000 copies, but
that's not bad.
Oh, he's just a great guy. He's got a multimedia company with offices in both in California and in Florida. So if you own like the James Bond Ultimate Edition sets of the movies, you'll notice the special features discs would have a lot of the interviews with stars and things like that, and special features. A lot of that was produced and directed by John Cork. Again, great guy. He owns Cloverland. That's the name of his company, the multimedia company. And we thank you, John, so much. Now, the reason this is a great message, and Tom and I are smiling
this is a little inside joke here that he gave us.
John and I spoke on the phone just after we recorded and put out the 39 Steps podcast. And he said to me, Dan, you mispronounced the name of Robert Donat, the star. And I just did it again on purpose. He said, it's not Robert Donat. He corrected me and said, it's Robert Donat. So this anniversary message is right on. Thank you, John. That was great.
That really was. Thanks, John.
So
June 17th of 2019 is when we launched, the day before Barbara Broccoli's birthday. And we've been thrilled over the last year to put out 44 podcasts, which have been downloaded in 45 states in the United States and about 66 countries throughout the world.
That's pretty cool.
I'm just shocked when I see that number.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you so much. Now, we focus on the genre of spy movies, from the classics like the movie Dan just talked about, The 39 Steps, which is generally regarded as the first spy movie that released in 1935, to modern-day spy movies, including, of course, James Bond, Mission Impossible, Bourne. We've done some Hitchcock spy movies, some kids spy movies, and a whole lot more. But we don't just do movies. We do spy movie topics. We've had fun putting together and recording podcasts for things like James Bond is to spies, what Sherlock Holmes is to detectives.
Yeah,
we have one. I love this title. James Bond is like Coca-Cola, which is why for Bond, it's No Time to Die. You've got to listen to it. It's a really interesting take.
A fun one.
It's a fun one on the No Time to Die movie and bringing a little Coca-Cola history into the podcast. So it's a fun one. We also have a bunch of podcasts on the No Time to Die trailers. Unfortunately, we're sitting here and waiting for November for them to release this, hopefully, after the coronavirus pandemic. So we put out a bunch of No Time to Die trailers and videos, and we did podcasts on those. We also did a podcast on the title song from No Time to Die, which they released right before the pandemic hit. We also did one on Team Fukunaga and Waller-Bridge. Will this No Time to Die dream team work? It's kind of an interesting question. Will they work for us? We talk about that in the podcast. We even have a couple of podcasts on examining the original Ian Fleming manuscripts, which Dan and I did when we visited the Indiana University's Lilly Library. They own 11 of the Fleming type manuscripts with his handwritten edits.
It was fantastic.
It was just amazing to read the words and see how he scratched things out and changed things.
Yeah.
As he was writing. It was really a piece of history.
We're touching the pages that Ian Fleming typed in Jamaica, and then handwritten edits and stuff. That was a heck of a trip just for that.
That was.
Spent a day and a half doing that.
We did 2 podcasts on it.
Yeah.
Because it was too long to do as one podcast. And we also have podcasts on spy movie locations that we visited too.
Yeah. I mean, we're always looking for connections between spy movies, which have influenced others, and similar ideas seen in multiple spy movies. So we have a lot of podcasts where we're connecting all of these different pieces, and also how real world events and historical stuff finds its way into spy movies. We actually have 2 podcasts out on the real world stuff already. They're really fun to listen to. We've had a lot of great feedback on them. We've done videos on spy movie locations, as well as compiled fun videos like the top 12 uses of lasers in spy movies. And we did another one on where did Mission Impossible come up with the idea for that vault scene. That's a cool one. We got 3 different movies in that one, and it's pretty cool. And we visited and filmed the Spyscape Spy Museum in New York City, interviewing the GM there. And we did a nice little video on Real Art Collectibles, which is a great movie memorabilia shop in Illinois. And it's got tons and tons of movie memorabilia. A lot of stuff in there, and all great fun things, and a lot of spy movie stuff. We've enjoyed our first year, and we're looking forward to more.
And you, our listeners, have enjoyed it as well. We've gotten a few comments besides what you're going to hear throughout today's podcast in terms of the audio recordings. Here's a nice little quote we got from one of our listeners, Eddie. You're the men with the Midas touch, engaging and fun, as always. Eddie.
Thank you.
Then we had Shane reached out and just said, just a shout out. You guys are killing it lately with the great podcasts. We love getting that feedback. It really helps keep us going.
It's great to hear from you. So let's hear from more of you out there, and let us know what's going on. We're going to go to another audio clip here from the 00 Files, our friends out in the Netherlands.
And if you haven't heard their podcast, they've got a really good one, the 00 Files.
Hello, Tom and Dan. This is Dom Zuiderman from the 00 Files. Congratulations on your very first anniversary, and what a year it has been. I love how you put spy films in general at the center of your show. Where we focus pretty much solely on James Bond, you look at Mission Impossible, Jason Bourne, Alfred Hitchcock, and even the recent animated film Spies in Disguise, which I have to admit I enjoyed more than I should have. And besides that, you visit iconic locations, you're living the good life, and you even record while you're there. Yeah. Tom and Dan, I salute you for what you're doing. You bring something new to the community, and your show is always a pleasure. Happy birthday. Cheers, guys.
Well, thanks so much. That's great.
Fantastic. Don and the rest of your crew out there, there's 4 of you guys all together, and we really appreciate that message. That means a lot to us to hear that. And again, the 00 Files has some great podcasts on Bond as well, and some really cool stuff. They're really a bunch of good guys. Thanks. We'll continue trying to come up with unique topics. We released our first podcast featuring Roberto Schaefer, the director of photography of Quantum of Solace, on June 9th. It's a 2-part podcast, and the second part will release on June 23rd. And we are honored that Roberto took the time to send us a happy birthday and anniversary message.
Well, and he took us some good time to do the podcast with us too. So, and then we got this message from him too. It was great.
Yeah, we spent a couple hours with Roberto. So here's Roberto again.
Hey, Spy Movie Navigator. I want to wish you a happy anniversary. First year of doing some amazing podcasts, and for all us spy freaks out there. I also want to use this opportunity to wish Barbara Broccoli a happy birthday, which is the day after your anniversary. So keep it up, all 007 fans. I'm one of them. All the best. Happy anniversary. Happy birthday. Keep it up. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Roberto. That was terrific. Yeah, like Tom said, we spent a couple hours with Roberto on Zoom doing our podcast with him. Great guy. It was just like talking to just a friend that we've known for years and years.
Yeah,
So,
it was a real. I love that conversation. It was great.
yeah, so look for those two podcasts as well. They're really fun, and Roberto has a lot of insights into Quantum and some of the other films that he was involved with, like Finding Neverland and so on. Great stuff. So very happy that Roberto sent us that. Thank you very much.
And if you want to find out more about Roberto, you can go to robertoschaefer.com.
Right.
It's all one word. The Schaefer is SCHAEFER.com.
Yeah. It's great. So check some of his other movies out too. Finding Neverland, Monsters Ball, Stay, and a whole bunch of others that he did.
Stay's a really interesting movie.
Fantastic cinematography in Quantum. We think it's spectacular. And in the podcast again, Roberto reveals a few very fun facts. So take a listen when you get a chance.
If you love sunsets, you've got to see the opening to his movie Rattlesnake. The best sunset I've ever seen in my life, and it was a real video.
All right, we're going to go to another little clip here.
This is Raymond Benson. Happy anniversary to the Spy Movie Navigator. Cheers, guys.
All right, Raymond Benson. Raymond is a great guy, too. He was the first American author to be authorized by the Ian Fleming Publications to write the continuation James Bond novels. So that's pretty big. He wrote 6 continuation novels, plus 3 novelizations of 3 of the Pierce Brosnan Bond films, which were not novels before the films. So that's a lot of great work by Raymond Benson. And his Bond novels include 0-10, The Facts of Death, High Time to Kill, Double Shot, Never Dream of Dying, and The Man with the Red Tattoo. And he wrote the novelizations from the Pierce Brosnan movies of Tomorrow Never Dies, The World Is Not Enough, and Die Another Day. We're going to have a podcast with Raymond as a special guest upcoming very soon. He actually started with the James Bond Bedside Companion, first published in 1984. Very cool book. I have it. It only goes up to the Living Daylights, but it's packed with great information, and it's available now in ebooks only. We met with Raymond a couple of times already, and he has a great music background as well. You can find him on Facebook sometimes with a little piano concerts during those pandemic stuff. It's a nice little bit of entertainment. So,
and even though he's not doing any more of the continuation novels for James Bond, he still is writing. So he still is, putting out books which are really good.
Yeah, he's got a lot of great books out now that are not Bond books, but fabulous. He's a great writer. Terrific.
So we've been having fun making contacts, traveling to spy movie locations, researching and recording podcasts, and doing some videos as well. It's been a growing pleasure to meet some folks in person. Like, remember, Dan, that time we met Caroline Monroe? She was Naomi in The Spy Who Loved Me, and she was gracious with her time. We met with her at Duke's Bar in London. It was fabulous meeting with her.
Yeah.
We're also meeting people online, right? I mean, we're doing things in Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and even on our website, spymovienavigator.com.
It's really a great community of people out there. They're really friendly and knowledgeable, and it's just been a blast so far. The James Bond 007 guys, who on Twitter is at BondJames007T, sent us a written message because they were in a place that was too noisy to record one, he said. Anyway, he says, "Hi, Spy Movie Navigator. You guys are going to be just fantastic for your anniversary day. I visited the website and everything looks in order, very professional looking. You guys keep up the good work and you have my blessing. Congratulations on your anniversary and many more to come. Enjoy your celebrations. The best to you all." That was nice.
That was nice.
Hey, Tom, we also met a gentleman who works at the Palacio Hotel in Estoril, Portugal, when we were there on our trip.
That was Jose Afonso. And of course, on our trip there, we visited a lot of the On Her Majesty's Secret Service locations, and the Palacio Hotel in Estoril, Portugal, is one of the places. And Jose was actually in the movie. He was in the movie. He was a doorman in the movie, and then he was a doorman for like 60-something years at that hotel.
Yeah, he was still there a couple years ago when Tom and I visited there.
He has since retired.
And there was another guy who works there as well.
Jose Diogo.
And he was the bellboy who hands the key to the manager to give to Bond when he's checking in the hotel.
Yeah, it's great. In the movie, they actually used people who worked at the hotel for some of the minor roles, which was kind of fun. And the fact that these two still are there, it's like, wow.
Yeah. And actually, they did that a lot. When we visited the wedding reception location for the On Her Majesty's Secret Service, too, in the mansion when they had it in the courtyard and everything when Bond marries Tracy.
Yeah, Draco's mansion there.
Yeah, and we talked to a young gentleman there who was the gardener, and his grandmother was a servant in the house at the time, and they wore these special uniforms, and they actually used the servants in the movie wearing the same uniforms that they actually really wore. So there's a lot of cool stuff there.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So meeting all these people, it's been a blast. Traveling all these places has been fun. It's just a true delight, and so nice to meet some of these people, either electronically or in person and so on.
And then for us to get a chance to tell these stories with you and share their experiences with you, even if you didn't get a chance to get there yet.
Yeah, and we love.
Notice I said yet.
Yeah, we'd love to help you get there too as well. There's so many wonderful places to go. We've probably visited 100 spy movie film locations already, and I must say that really one of our favorites was Peace Gloria from Her Majesty's Secret Service.
I don't think that was one of my. That is my favorite so far.
It is fantastic. It's in Schilthorn, Switzerland. It's gorgeous. It's like 10,000 feet up into the Alps, and it's just gorgeous up there. And it pretty much looks like it did in the movie. So a lot of fun stuff there.
We talk about that trip in the first podcast we did, all about spy movies.
Yeah.
Where we talk about that trip actually was our impetus really to get going with doing something on spy movies.
Yeah, we've been to some fun places, and certainly on the Majesty's Secret Service, we've been to all of the major locations for that. We've been to the jewelry store where he buys the ring. We've been to the wedding reception, the mansion. We've been to the bull ring.
The bull ring. Yeah, don't forget the bull ring.
Draco's birthday party was. We got pictures of us in the bull ring and right up where the party was, standing exactly where Bond was and everything. All that stuff is so fun to do. And we went to where Tracy, the road where Tracy gets shot and killed. We've been to
Sardinia. We went to Sardinia.
Oh yeah, Sardinia, Italy, where the Spy Who Loved Me, the Lotus Esprit, where we visited there. We found where the Lotus Esprit got delivered by Q. We found where the chase was, the motorcycle chase scene, and the whole chase scene of the Esprit. We saw where it plunged off the pier. We were on that very pier. It plunges off into the water and becomes a submersible, and where he shoots down Naomi, who we mentioned earlier, Caroline Munro, who was the first woman to be killed in a Bond movie, actually, by Bond. And then we found the beach where the Lotus got out of the water. What was the name of that beach? It was Biaggi Capriccioli or something like that, right?
I have no idea. I don't remember.
I wrote that down over here somewhere because I can never remember it. But that was fantastic. That was gorgeous. And we have some pictures of that as well. So all that's a lot of fun. And we've done other things too. We've done a podcast on Hitchcock movies. Like we did a 2-part podcast on North by Northwest. And after they were released, actually, this was funny. We heard from a woman via Twitter, Cynthia O'Connor, who was a little girl at the time of the filming of the movie in 1958. The movie came out in 1959. And she sent us a nice voice message, and we included her voice message in our podcast called Drinking with Bond, Literally. So listen to that little podcast, Drinking with Bond, Literally, and you'll hear a little piece from Cynthia telling her story about how she was in this movie as a little girl. And her mom was actually in the movie too, and she talks about that as well. So it's pretty fun. So, and Cynthia O'Connor was kind enough now to send us a nice little anniversary greeting as well. So here she is.
Yeah, actually, before you play that, one of the things I really love about this is we talk about the community and, running into people and things. And here's somebody who had a small part in a Hitchcock movie from 1958, and we don't know her. And all of a sudden, we get a voice message from her telling giving us a remembrance of when she did it. It's really cool to get that, and it really energizes us to keep us going.
Yeah, it was a fun message. Listen to that one in Drinking It with Bond, literally podcast, and you could hear Cynthia. But Cynthia was nice enough to send us another little message now to wish us a happy anniversary.
Hey guys, happy anniversary. The year really flew by, right? You clearly know your stuff and have a blast when sharing it, and I'm sure that all your followers feel the same. Keep up the good work, and looking forward to the next year of fun.
Thanks, Cynthia. She's out in New York now, I think. Actually, she lived in the Chicago area at the time of the movie, and that's the filming they were doing at Union Station in Chicago with the train station part. So that's the part she was in. So it's been fun. We've had the opportunity to speak with authors as well, like Dave Holcomb, who wrote a book called His World Never Dies, The Evolution of James Bond. It's a nice read, and we have a podcast out on that with David called the exact same thing, His World Never Dies, The Evolution of James Bond.
And that's actually one of our more popular podcasts, too.
Yeah, it's been great. And we have a number of additional authors lined up for podcasts as well from different parts of the world, all people we have met one way or another this past year.
It's been a fun year.
Dave Holcomb was kind enough to leave us a message as well.
Hey guys, Dave Holcomb here, indie author of His World Never Dies, The Evolution of James Bond. Just wanted to say happy 1-year anniversary. Building a website and hosting a podcast in today's environment is really, really tough. And you guys are doing a wonderful job through the first months. So congratulations. You guys have become just a hub for any spy movie fan. And I've really enjoyed watching you succeed. And I look forward to celebrating again with you next year on your 2nd anniversary.
We do too.
Thanks, Dave. That was fun. And thanks for taking the time again to send us a message. I know this takes time for people to do this kind of thing, and we're really thrilled to hear from some of the people we've talked to over the last year, and it's just been a blast. And David was one of the fun guys, too, that we've spoken with. So that's pretty cool.
Yep, absolutely.
Another author, Cary Edwards, is scheduled with us for a podcast, and he was very nice as well to leave us a little message. So here we go from Cary Edwards.
This is Dr. Cary Edwards, author of He Disagreed with Something That Ate Him, wishing SpyMovieNavigator.com a very happy 1st birthday. May you long keep cracking the code of spy movies.
Thanks, Cary.
Yeah, thank you, Cary.
Very knowledgeable guy. He has a PhD, and his focus is cinema. So when we talk to him, we better know what we're talking about.
We better have our ducks in a row on that one.
He's going to be good. But he's got a nice little book that is called, as he mentioned, He Disagreed with Something That Ate Him. And he loves Timothy Dalton as Bond. And so do we. So we're going to have a fun conversation with Cary Edwards. So that'll be coming up sometime soon.
So I like Dalton as Bond. Now, last night I actually watched a movie called Hot Fuzz, which really stars Simon Pegg, who plays Benji in Mission Impossible series. And there's another character in there. Timothy Dalton plays this really bad guy. A couple of years later than when his last Bond was, he's got a mustache, but he's got a devilish role. It's really fun.
I like Timothy Dalton.
Yeah. So, Cary liking Timothy Dalton, I agree. You've got to like Timothy Dalton. And here I literally, 14 hours ago, just watched him in a different movie that was totally different.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to the Cary Edwards interview. And Tim Guccione left us a nice little voice message as well. And so we'll play that now. One of our listeners.
Happy 1-year anniversary, Spy Movie Navigator. You guys have put out a lot of great content in the last year, and I can't wait to hear everything else you have coming up for the next year and many years to come. Cheers to you guys.
That's great.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. We love hearing from our listeners and from anyone out there who's a spy movie fan. Let us know what you think we should be doing next, too. If you have a suggestion of a movie we should cover, please let us know, and we'll try to do that as well. So,
yeah, and I can't stress how important those messages are for us. Well, first, it helps keeps us going, but then if you give us an idea of, hey, I was thinking about this, or I saw this in one movie, and it seems like I saw something like it in another movie, tell us about it, and let us see if we can help put that together for you.
Yeah. The thing that's been a lot of fun is getting to know the people we've come across over the last year or so. And we met with Corey Glaberson, who runs Real Art Collectibles. We had mentioned that a little earlier. Real Art Collectibles is in a suburb near Chicago. Great movie memorabilia from all genres of movies, including spy movies, of course. And we got a video on our YouTube channel of that interview as well. Great posters, toys.
And he'll ship anywhere in the world, right?
Yeah, he'll ship
So-
anywhere. He just shipped a poster to France of someone who was listening to the podcast and heard
And then-
about posters we talked about.
Yeah,
So,
and after you recorded that video, we were at the show C2E2 here in Chicago,
yeah, we
and
saw,
he had a booth there, and we saw him there, and I recorded some more audio and video with him.
yeah, he was
So-
rocking and rolling at the show too. That
yeah,
was
he really was. So it's fun to just run into everybody like this.
And like we said, we got to know Dave Holcomb, who wrote His World Never Dies, The Evolution of James Bond. Again, fun read. He's from Atlanta, Georgia, in the U.S. We've interacted with Anders Frade, who manages George Lazenby, and with Matt Sherman, one of the Bond experts in the world, who runs Bond cruises and lots more events. And Matt just left us a quick little message as well. So we're going to cut to that clip right now.
Hi, Dan and Tom and the SpyMovieNavigator.com crew and listeners and followers. This is Matt Sherman of BondFanEvents.com, wishing you all a very happy first anniversary. You are cracking the code of the spy genre and cracking good when it comes to Bond locations and spy movie locations. It's been exciting to follow your progress and to partner with you at BondFanEvents.com. And I join my friends and Bond luminaries Raymond Benson and John Cork in wishing you and all your followers the best. A great anniversary with many happy years to come. Long may you reign. Thank you, Spy Movie Navigator.
Thank you, Matt.
Thanks, Matt. That was fantastic. Matt's a great guy. He's got a Bond cruise coming up in October, providing that cruises are still running. In October, we're planning to be on that cruise.
We're supposed to be on that cruise, assuming it happens.
Yeah, doing a presentation on the cruise. But he's a great guy. He's been very helpful to us in some of the Bond locations we visited, and just a terrific guy. So you can check out Matt Sherman on his website, bondfanevents.com. Great guy. Good stuff.
So Dan, we even worked with a guy, Stephen J. Rubin. He wrote the complete James Bond movie encyclopedia, another encyclopedia, which really we used as the basis for our Spy MDB database on our website. So if you do a search on our website, you'll actually find information from his encyclopedia coming back as the results from your search.
Yeah,
So it's a lot of really interesting stuff. He's going to be revving that book for when No Time to Die ships. He'll be revving his book. He's got a multimedia company out of California, and he also has the Twilight Zone encyclopedia. If you're a Twilight Zone fan,
Big Twilight Zone fan. Yep.
and of course we've talked with John Cork and Roberto Schaefer, who we've already mentioned.
Yeah. And we got to know another great guy, Marty Mackillop, who runs thunderballs.org. He's out in Scotland, and he's got a great collection of James Bond photos, movie posters, lobby cards, and more online. And he's helped us out a lot for getting things we've needed over the years for our podcasts and for our videos. So thank you, Marty.
Yes, thank you, Marty.
Marty was also kind enough to leave us a message.
Hi, my name is Marty, and I founded a website called the Thunderballs James Bond Picture Archive. And I want to say happy first birthday to the Spy Movie Navigator podcast, as well as giving a big thumbs up to Dan and Tom for the sheer dedication and passion that they clearly pour into this project as a whole. Amazing work, fellas. Very well done. There is a glass of Macallan whiskey in your honor, gentlemen. Slanger.
I wish I had one of those in front of me right now.
Enjoying seeing all your James Bond location visits on your Instagram account, which everyone should be following, of course, and the Twitter. Just follow the lot. May your good work continue, guys, and keep safe.
Thanks again, Marty, and keep up the great work you're doing at thunderballs.org. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, it is really good stuff. And if I had a glass of Macallan in my hand, which I wish I did, I'd raise it right back at you.
I've got coffee in my 007 cup, but
yeah, that's coffee.
hey, we got to know Steve Solomon, too. Now, Steve Solomon is a talented young man, and he wrote the music for our podcast show. He's out in Los Angeles. And Steve just left us a message a little bit ago. But first, we're going to play the 30-second clip of our podcast music that
Which Steve created.
that Steve created and wrote for us, and it's just fun stuff. And then we'll play his clip.
I love that song.
Yeah, that's fun stuff. So Stephen leaves us a nice voice message, kind of telling us how he was inspired writing that music and how he kind of did it. Kind of cool.
My name is Stephen Solomon, and I had the pleasure of writing the theme song for Spy Movie Navigator. I thought I'd share a little bit of how I went about writing it. Of course, it had to be inspired by the original Bond theme, so it's also in a minor key, has notes similar to the scale as the 007 theme as well. The theme song for the show is also inspired by the 12-bar blues, or in music theory terms, it's 12 measures long, like many old Mississippi Delta and Chicago blues songs. An example of the blues form is the song Sweet Home Chicago. I then wanted to build it up at the end with a big ending and end on the highest note of the whole song with trumpets, crash cymbals, all the fireworks. And that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoy the theme song for Spy Movie Navigator. Happy anniversary.
Hey, thanks, Stephen.
Stephen, thank you. And I actually learned something with that clip because I didn't know how he built it. All I know is you had said, "Oh, Tom, what do we want in the song?" We talked about it. And then all of a sudden you said, "Oh, here, Stephen wrote this for us." And I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah, he does great stuff. So you could check him out at StephenSolomonMusic.com. Great, talented young man out in California. Cool stuff. Thank you.
And another guy that actually is a younger guy that helped us do some of the work that we've done is Kurt Vor Broker. He did all of our major graphics that we've got on the website. So Kurt just left us a great message when he found out it was our anniversary, and we really appreciate it, Kurt.
Yeah. Here you go, Kurt.
Hey guys, it's Kurt, your graphic designer. Congratulations on being 1 year in. I remember a year ago when we were emailing back and forth and working on the designs for the various parts of the page, I told you that I knew this was going to be amazing and I was going to be a fan from day one, and I have been. I've turned my brother-in-law and my dad and my sister onto the podcast.
We love that.
I really love them. I love listening to them while I'm working. The site is great. The videos are great. And you guys are truly the masters of all things clandestine. So big congratulations. And I can't wait to see what comes over the next year. You guys rock.
Yeah, you rock too, Kurt, man. That's great stuff.
Yeah, thanks for the comments and for the great work you've done for us.
Yeah.
And we would also be remiss on our year anniversary if we didn't mention the name Jeff McNear. He actually did the development and maintenance for our website. Another great guy. He's been really super helpful in getting all of the stuff up and running.
Yeah. And our biggest thanks is to all who have listened to our show, Cracking the Code of Spy Movies, and have watched our videos on Cracking the Code of Spy Movies channel on YouTube, and who use our website on a regular basis to watch our curated videos and read comments, read articles, search our spy movie database, and do more. And of course, to all of the social media followers and supporters on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. That has been tremendous. And we're going to do a lot more in the social media market in this next coming year.
This has been an adventure, and the adventure will continue. We plan on doing more location trips once we can start traveling again to get some great pictures and videos for you. I'm dying to do that. And to meet more people, including our listeners. We will in the next year do some live chats with our Facebook group members. If you're not a member of our group, it's called the Worldwide Community of Spy Movie Fans. Go to our Facebook page, www.facebook.com/SpyMovieNavigator, and click the Visit Group button and ask to join. We also post in the group information on upcoming podcasts and videos and more before they're out to the general public.
Hey, you can also follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/SpyNavigator and on Instagram at Instagram.com/Spy Movie Navigator.
We're going to do more fun podcasts on a variety of spy movie topics, all with a twist. More interviews, more classic spy movies, lots of Mission Impossible, Bond, and Bourne too.
And what you suggest. Send us an email or leave us a message on our website, spymovienavigator.com. Just click that big red button, leave us a voice message, and tell us what you think we should do or what movie you think we should take a look at.
If you'd like to be a sponsor of our website or show, send an email to dan@spymovienavigator.com.
Yeah. And once again, thank you.
So thank you all very much for listening to our show, for your support and your enthusiasm about what we're doing. We truly appreciate it, and it does spark us on to do more creative stuff.
It does.
So thank you.
Thank you. Please subscribe to this show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.
We've got it everywhere.
Thanks again.
For the past year, this has been Tom Pizzato
and Dan Silvestri
of SpyMovieNavigator.com. Check out our website, watch our videos on YouTube, and join us for each episode of our podcast as together we're cracking the code of spy movies.
Thanks everybody.